everybody, it is Joy and Scott Anderson from Anderson Injury Law, and I thought it might be fun today to interview Scott. He's answered so many questions, done so many interviews on topics, has really given a lot of his time, but we've never really asked him any questions about like how he got started and those types of things. So I thought today is the day we're going to find out some more about Scott. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So my first question is, how did you get started in deciding to go to law school? I know you have a finance background, so what was the premise of you heading into law?
My dad had started this law firm when I was very young, and actually he started it before I was born. But when I hit middle school, he had me start working in his law firm. Early on, it was simple things like being a file clerk, answering phones, then slowly progressing to reading through medical records, understanding the medical records, writing demand packages, doing things that paralegals and legal assistants usually do. Then when I went off to college, I was initially went off to college thinking maybe I'd go join the Marine Corps. Went to OCS and decided that's not where I needed to be. And so I did never joined the Marine Corps. After OCS, I said, I should do something else. I said, you know what, maybe I'll go to law school. And so I took the LSAT, did well enough to get into law school, and I went to law school with the idea that I had already seen how personal injury attorneys help people. That's an industry that, frankly, a lot of personal injury attorneys have made a bad name for ourselves of talking about it as if it is only about money. Look, you got into an accident, here's how much money I'll get for you. And that's not really what we're here to do. What personal injury attorneys really do is help people deal with insurance companies that are trying to pay as little as possible. And they use a lot of tricks and a lot of methods to devalue cases. Insurance companies are really good at holding on to their money. And so personal injury attorneys, what we really do is facilitate someone's ability to go get the medical care that they need. We help them recover their lost income. A lot of people, when they're in an accident and they lose a month of being able to work, there are a lot of people that can't afford to lose a month. And so we're here to help people bridge the gaps. We're here to help them figure out the money side of what happens after a traumatic event. And so it's something that I knew I wanted to go help people and help people in a way that they really couldn't help themselves. It's an unfortunate truth in my industry that people who represent themselves lose. It is, insurance companies are just really well trained at defeating claims, and people who don't know the tricks and aren't prepared for the tricks and don't know what they're doing, they just constantly lose their cases. And so it's something that in a just world, my job shouldn't exist, but insurance companies are what they are.
So you're from Colorado Springs originally. We know that you are an avid hockey fan and player and coach. So just talk about that for a minute. What got you into hockey?
Yeah, I started playing hockey when I was 4, and at that point, it wasn't a decision I made. It was my brother played hockey, and my parents didn't want to take me to a different place, and so they said, "You're playing hockey too." And so, yeah, we just started playing hockey and absolutely loved it and kept playing. And so I've played hockey my entire life since I was 4. Then as I was growing up, starting to get better at hockey, it was probably around middle school age. I had one of my coaches said, "Hey, why don't you go coach another team?" And I said, "Sure." And so I started coaching, and I've just always coached a little bit here and there until eventually, when I was in law school, some of the guys that I played hockey with were coaching Rampart High School and said, "Hey, do you want to come help coach?" And I said, "Sure." And then I coached at Rampart. I think my total years at Rampart were about 14 years of coaching there. And after kids and family life took over, I had to say I can't keep up with it, because we were coaching 5 to 6 days a week, and most of hockey, because ice time is limited, is 11 o'clock at night, midnight, 1 in the morning. I just stopped being able to do it.
All right, let's talk about your firm a little bit. How many attorneys are there? Give a little bit of background about who they are and what they do.
Sure. So our firm has 4 attorneys. There's me, then there is my dad. He is still very active and working in the law firm. He's coming up on 40, somewhere between 45 and 50 years of practice. My dad, absolutely great litigator. He won all kinds of awards for all of his trial work. For starting back with law school, he was on one of the national teams that would travel around and do debates and win in trials. Then he went into the military. My dad was in the Marine Corps, and he was an infantry officer and then a lawyer through the Marine Corps, and was highly successful in his duties in the Marine Corps, to where the Marine Corps said he was initially put on defense teams, and they were winning an unprecedented number of cases. And so the Marine Corps said, we're going to switch you to prosecution. And then after the Marine Corps, he worked in the El Paso County 4th Judicial District as a district attorney. And so he was a criminal prosecutor for a period of time. After that, he went and opened this law firm. And so at this point, we've had 40 years of only being a personal injury firm, helping people with auto accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall, dog bites. Occasionally there's a life insurance claim, wrongful death claims, catastrophic injury claims. That's what we've done for 40 years now. Mark Mizell is another attorney here. He's the newest attorney to have joined us. He's been with our firm, I believe it's about a year now. And he was a Tennessee attorney. He had worked in Tennessee for 19 years and had his own firm out there, worked for other people out there. He was doing personal injury almost exclusively for those 19 years. He got fed up with Tennessee, which, as I have learned, Tennessee is extremely insurance friendly, but that's the legal structure they have decided to set up. So yeah, Mark decided he wanted to come to Colorado, came to Colorado. He worked in personal injury here in Colorado for, I think it was 8 or 9 years. He was looking for a firm to join, and frankly, his mentality matched ours of wanting to help people and put people in a better position than they could otherwise be in on their own. And so he joined our firm. At this point, he largely does pre-litigation, meaning before a lawsuit is filed. He has litigated cases. Most of the litigation he was doing was in Tennessee, and so he has trial experience, but we have him largely doing the non-trial work. Then our 4th attorney, his job is just trial work. He is only focused on litigation. His name is Tim Buxton. Tim Buxton is also a decades of experience. He has been a litigator basically his career. He was in the Air Force. He was one of the litigators in the Air Force in JAG. He then got out of the Air Force. He spent most of his career doing medical malpractice claims. When a doctor makes a mistake that is something that is below the standard of care for what a doctor should have done, that leads to injuries and damages to a person, that's a medical malpractice claim. And so he would litigate those. Medical malpractice claims are fought viciously. They are very tooth and nail type claims, and that's what he was used to doing and where much of his trial experience came from. And so Tim Buxton is now one of our litigators in the firm. He took off to the East Coast at one point to leave the Denver area. He and his wife decided that Colorado was better, so they came back. And when they came back, that's when Tim joined the law firm here. I think that was 4, maybe 5 years ago that he joined our firm, and we've just been happy with him, with all of the litigation experience and the work that he does here to help people who need a lawsuit to win a case.
Well, and it sounds like you guys aren't afraid to go to court.
No, we go to court whenever it's right for a client. That's something that I think I didn't realize it when I first started, but there are a lot of law firms that don't try cases ever, or they try so few that they effectively don't try cases. And to me, that's just wrong. But when the remedy for an insurance company's lowball offers is a lawsuit, there are one of two ways to get monies out of an insurance company. The first is you accept their offer. You don't ever have control over what the insurance company will offer. You just have control over saying deal or no deal. If you say no deal, the only other option is to file a lawsuit and go to a jury or a judge for a bench trial and say, hey, I want a verdict against these people for what my damages are worth. And so law firms, especially in the personal injury world, that don't try cases, to me, is egregiously unfair to their clients, because when an insurance company lowballs, the remedy is trying the case. And so what a lot of these law firms do is they tell their clients, yeah, this is the best we could do, you need to take it, and they twist their client's arm. And it's like that's not what should happen. What should happen is saying, hey, here's their offer. If we go to trial, this is what it looks like, and letting someone make a decision on their own with the options on the table.
And how far have you guys taken it? Like appeals further, how far have you guys taken it? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. Yeah, I have multiple cases that have gone to the Supreme Court level. And so we've handled everything from major, huge cases, 8-9-figure cases, to 4-figure cases where someone's arguing over $1,000. We've taken cases that go to small claims level. They go to county court whenever an attorney is involved, as opposed to small claims. But we've argued in county court, we've argued in district court, we've gone to the Court of Appeals, we've gone to the Colorado Supreme Court, we've argued in federal courts and the district courts at the 10th Circuit level. We've argued all the levels.
I love it that you guys have veterans, Air Force and Marines. That's awesome.
Yeah. Nope.
I'm sure it's fun around the office when competition comes around. Awesome. I think it's great because getting to know your attorney, sometimes it can be a very long relationship. And I mean that in the most truest sense, because there's nothing that happens quickly. If you've ever been in a courtroom, you know that. So I think it's great to get to know people that you have to rely on and look out for your best interest. So I think getting to know you and the firm is just a win for somebody who's looking for attorneys. So I appreciate your time. I know you offer free consultations. What's the best way? I see the phone number, but the website, and how does someone reach out to you?
Yeah, the easiest way to get a hold of us is the 719-473-3040, or people can go to our website, injuryevaluation.com. And we offer free initial consultations. People meet with an attorney. There are some law firms where people don't meet with an attorney. They meet with either a legal assistant, a paralegal, or what's called an investigator. In our firm, people will meet with an attorney. That initial consultation, they get to hear from us. During that consultation, whether they hire us or not, it's a no pressure consultation, but they will end up leaving the office knowing significantly more about their claim, how it works, what to expect. And so it's something that I think it's a good value to people of saying, hey, you don't have to sign up. You get a bunch of free information from an attorney. And if you want us to be involved on a case that we can help you on, we're happy to be involved.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Scott. And I will see you soon.
We'll see you soon.